Oh, yes.
Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the live stream, and thank you so much for tuning to Z Talks episode 6. And today's edition, I've actually got a returning guest of Nathan from the Unbiased Movie Nerd, and my older brother Joe from his channel JCX Fun. So, Joe, welcome to the channel. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks, Mike. Yeah, not too bad. Bit tired, but doing good. Excited to be on the live stream.
Yeah, awesome. And yeah, so good to have you on here. And I've been meaning to get you on for a while. So yeah, really cool that you've jumped on. And yeah, it's just going to be a good fun time. And I'm sure anyone who's watching live right now, before we kind of introduce my guests, please leave any questions that you have for us in the chat, or any comments, anything that you would like, and we'll certainly get to them. So yeah, Joe, we're going to start off with you before we move on to Nate, because he was on the channel a couple of weeks ago. Do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your channel?
Yeah, I'm Joe. I'm Mike's brother, as you know. I run a channel, JCX Fun. And like most of Mike's guests, obviously a lot of their YouTubers on there are specified to one type of subject. I know a lot of you guys do a lot of reviews on movies and such, but on my channel, I do literally anything. I'm not specifically categorized in one thing. Obviously, I do unboxing videos, I do customer return pallets, I do food reviews, I do all sorts really. So I've got no limits.
Right. Yeah, no, awesome. And I know lately Joe on his channel has been covering a lot of like the Johnny Depp trial. Like a big subject, for sure.
Big win for that man.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
And the crazy thing is that the last 2 days or so, he's actually been in like our local town, like 20 minutes where we live.
Huh. Yeah.
But
that's
I've been
crazy.
working, I couldn't even go like to possibly where he was going to be. So.
Jess, my wife, kept wanting to go see him. She was like, "Oh, let's go to Newcastle, see if we can see Johnny Depp." I was like,
"Yeah, dude,
I'm not going to go stalk Johnny Depp."
Do I want to go see him with the other 300,000 people that are probably going to be there?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But yeah, like, so a couple of things that I like on Joe's channel, like you said. So he does like customer returns pallets. He's done a couple of like eating and food challenges, and he's done a bit of all sorts. So definitely on the rise and close to 250 subs. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm 244 or something like that at the moment. So I'm extremely happy for that number. I never thought I'd have 244 subscribers. I thought I'd probably have 4 at this moment in time. So I'm very grateful to everyone who subscribes.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And anyone who is, again, watching live right now or after the fact, the links to my guest channels are in the description box below. 2 YouTubers that are kind of up and coming and rising pretty quickly on their respective channels. So please go subscribe to Joe. And then also, please go subscribe to my other guest who is on the stream tonight, who is Nate from his movie channel called The Unbiased Movie Nerd. So Nate, for anyone who didn't see you like 2 episodes ago of Z Talks, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about reviews you've just done and ones you've got coming up?
Yeah, you know, kind of like Mike said, you know, I've been on one of his past live streams, and my channel, my main there I go again. my channel mainly focuses around movie reviews, and I just started a whole new series called Throwback Thursdays, where I go back and I review a movie from the past maybe 30, 20, 10 years. It just depends. But I do post reviews on all the latest movies releasing. So if there's a new movie coming out, I will probably have a review up for it at some point on my channel. But if you're ever looking to see what's coming out, or you want to get some news on whether something is good or whether it's bad, just come check me out.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. And Nate's recently started a series on his channel called Throwback Thursdays, where he covers an older review, which he's recently just done the first ever Spider-Man movie, which is awesome.
That was a lot of fun to make too. I had way too much fun making that review, man.
Yeah, it's such an awesome movie. And also, you recently had a milestone in channel because your Top Gun Maverick review is your highest viewed video. Is that right?
It is my second highest viewed video. The first video that has the highest amount of views on it is my Tyson's Run review, which, if I remember correctly when I saw it, I did not like Tyson's Run at all. For whatever reason, I've noticed that the videos I make where I'm extremely angry about a movie, they somehow get the most views. But for whatever reason, my Top Gun Maverick review just, I don't know, I guess it's just circulating through YouTube's algorithm like crazy right now, or there's just that many people going to see it.
Right.
But if it feels good to kind of go to bed, wake up, and get on my phone, and all of a sudden it's jumped like 20 more views. It feels pretty good, especially for a channel of my size.
Right.
Yeah.
No, definitely, man. Well, I mean, I think it can be said for Joe as well in his channel because like we all start our YouTube channels for a specific reason, and we probably didn't think that we'd all be in the same positions where we are now about our own respective bases. And Nate, you're almost close to 50 subs as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Going pretty quick.
Measly 3 away. Just 3 more, and we're there.
So we've only got a couple of people watching right now. So whoever's watching right now, please go over and subscribe to Nate. Get him to the 50, and please go subscribe to get him to 250 because he's quite close. So that's my guest today. We have got 2 questions to answer from my Patreons, which we're going to get to very shortly. But very quickly, we've got my good friend Pete, who's called Handyman Hardy. He says, "Where have you been? Been waiting for ages. Have a good one, guys." So Pete, hello. If you tune in or you're going to come back, thanks for tuning in. We've also got 4K Lover Trevor. He says, "Evening, gentlemen." So hey,
Good
Trevor,
evening.
how's it going? We've also got Lego M Studios saying hello there. Yeah,
Hello there.
Lego Studios. A guy who creates custom Lego builds. Really, really awesome dude. And we've got Gareth, whose channel I was on last night for a Back to the Future free watch along. So hey, Gareth, how you doing?
That's just like you, man. You're all about Back to the Future.
Dude,
obsessed.
That's badass. Dude, I don't even have one tattoo on my body, but if I was going to get one, I would have to make sure that it's something I'd really want to keep.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
God,
I mean, me and Joe can tell you that,
Like, if I could think of a video game, I'd probably get like maybe the Skyrim Dragonborn symbol, like maybe going up my arm or something like that. Just because, man, I love that game so much.
Awesome. And if you've got a passion for it as well, then you're not going to regret it the next day, kind of thing, So
no, and plus, I think it'd be kind of cool when I'm like 70, 75 years old, and my grandkids are like, "Hey, granddad, what does that mean?" And I could just tell them the whole story, what it means and everything.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I also want to add in the commentary that we've got from Jamie Lee saying, "Glad I can catch us live. Hi, friends." And Jamie Lee's tuning in from Australia.
There.
So, hey, Jamie, how you doing? Thank you for
Hey,
tuning in.
Jamie.
Mike, I think next to you, Jamie has been she's been really active on my channel in the comments, man.
Oh yeah, same here.
She's very
awesome.
Sweet.
Shout out to Jamie.
Awesome girl, and please go check out because she's almost close to 150 subs, and over there she's interviewing cast members from Cobra Kai, trailer reactions, all sorts of things. Awesome.
Cool.
And we've also got Retro Girls saying, "Hey guys, hope you're all well." So hey, Retro Girls, hope you're doing great. Hope you're enjoying the Jubilee if you're celebrating it today. But yeah, so I want to get to the 2 questions that was asked by my patrons. And by the way, very quickly, anyone who's tuning in live, please leave any comments or any questions you want to ask us or any questions specifically for one of my guests, please leave them and we'll read them out. So the first question I got is from one of my patrons called Adam, and he asked, "Has anyone been watching the Obi-Wan Kenobi series?" I haven't. So what about you guys?
Yeah. Duh. You know me. You know me, man. Why the hell would I miss that? Not to mention
the shirt. Yeah.
Wait. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
The camera's screwing me up. There you go.
Yeah, man. Like I haven't been watching it because me and my partner were going to go through like all the Star Wars movies first to get like a good refresher before going into the series. And Joe, have you been watching it?
No, I haven't had a chance to yet. I want to see it, but obviously I know the new Stranger Things has just come out. So obviously I wanted to watch all of Stranger Things first before I jumped into another series. But hopefully I'll get to watch it in the next week or so. But I will watch it.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely. Yeah. Same here. You know, I definitely want to get to it as well. I've just finished watching Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I'll touch on. But Nate, very quickly, can you kind of give us without spoilers?
Yeah.
Is it any good for the 3 episodes that's out so far?
I genuinely think it is pretty good, actually. I think it's one of the better things we've gotten out of Disney Star Wars, and of course, you know, you've got the naysayers online talking about how it's the worst thing ever. I feel like it's one of those things you kind of have to see to formulate your own opinion about. But I think it's a really fun side story, you know, that kind of springboards off of the movies, dude. You know, sure. I love the fact that Ewan McGregor is back just because he was one of the best things about the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there's been a lot of twists and turns in the first 3 episodes, and it finally peaked with episode 3. Won't say what, but when you finally get a chance to check it out, man, and you get to that moment, you know immediately what I'm talking about.
Right.
But I say check it out when you can, man.
Well, I've seen a spoiler online, so I know the moment you're talking about. But
damn, I'm sorry, dude.
And then the other question I want to ask you guys, which I think is an interesting question. So this comes from another Patreon called Michael, and he asked this at the end of last week's stream, but the stream had ended and the question then came through, so I couldn't go back on.
Okay.
And his question was, what's our thoughts on cinemas, and do we think that they're dying out because of like streaming services? And I think this is an interesting question because mine and Nate's experience at the cinema might be different to Joe's, because Joe's got 2 kids, so a lot of the time when he goes to the cinema, it's like taking his kids. Right. So Joe, from your experience, do you think kind of cinemas are dying out? Because Michael's part of the question also was that he thinks that people's only going to the cinema to see like the big blockbusters and like that's it. So what's your kind of thought on that?
Obviously, it's hard for me to say compared to you guys, because I know you guys go to the cinema a lot more than myself. But like, I went to see the new Spider-Man, and also I went on the day of release, and obviously the cinema was absolutely crowded. But that's a big blockbuster. But when I tend to take my sons to the cinema, I tend to wait for the movie to be released a week because I don't like crowded places. So I don't really want to risk going to a cinema what's full of people and having no space to move. So I can't tell what every screening showing's like in regards to audience. But I don't know, like for myself personally, when I go to the cinema with my wife, there is only certain films I would actually go to the cinema to see. Like I like watching horror films at the cinema, kind of thing. And I don't know personally, you guys will be able to tell me a lot more, but if you look at cinema share prices, a lot of them are going up still, so they still must be getting revenue in. So I don't know, like people still collect, like yourself, Michael, you've started to build your physical media collection. Everyone thought that was a dying art, but if you look on YouTube, there's still a lot of collectors out there, and I'm on a lot of Facebook groups as well, and you see a lot of people are still collecting DVDs and Blu-rays. What I thought was extinct, I thought no one collected that stuff no more, but but I was obviously wrong on that. So you don't know. I don't know. Like the cinema question, I'm probably not the best to answer because I don't go to the cinema as much as you guys. So over to you, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, very quickly before I kind of give a quick answer and we'll move to Nate. When you speak about physical media collection, we've actually got AJ's movie place in the house. So AJ, and he also collects physical media as well. So I'm sure he could weigh in on some opinions on that one. But yeah, I think it's an interesting concept because the thing is, Joe, when you obviously take my nephews, of course, it's like, you know yourself with kids, a lot of them tend to like run around or they're always screaming or shouting, especially if it's a big kids movie, for example. And you know, whereas myself, like a bit like Joe, I like to try go on opening day, but I like to try go through the week when it's just like a dead crowd. like yesterday, I went to see the new A24 movie called Men. I don't know if Joe, if you've seen that advertised.
Yeah, I've seen it advertised.
All right, cool. Because I know me and Nate reviewed it on our channels.
Yeah,
we have.
But so I went at like a 1:10 showing, and there was maybe like myself and maybe like 8 to 10 people else that was in this screening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like people at the minute is probably going to go see like the new Top Gun movie over like Men that's been out, like just came out, but obviously that's a bigger name. So I don't know. I think in terms of like my quick opinion, I would say that definitely the blockbusters are bringing people in, like the Batman we've had this year, Spider-Man in the last year, Doctor Strange recently, Top Gun, Maverick, and so many more. But I think on those like kind of quieter weeks where Top Gun's been out for a couple of weeks and there's nothing else really released, people might then go to see like the smaller movies. There's nothing else on. People like having like a good cinema date with their loved ones or like family or whatever. And then they like to people like to kind of spend money as such to go into the cinema. So I think in terms of kind of like the cinema, I think definitely in the pandemic it was a dying breed for sure. But I think now that the kind of pandemic's, sorry, just turning my heat now. But in terms of like kind of the pandemic now, obviously it's still there, but obviously the rules are a lot more relaxed.
Right.
I think people's more inclined to go out and go enjoy what they've missed. Certainly myself, I've missed the cinema. Very quickly, Nate, before we go to yourself, because I want to hear your opinion. Well, Sophie's in the house from Retro Revival, so hey, Sophie. The topic, what we're talking about right now, if you've just tuned in, is do you think the cinema is kind of like a dying breed apart from the big blockbusters because everyone's going to streaming, or do you think the cinemas are still going to be around for a long time? So weigh in on your opinions in the chat below and we'll read them out. So Nate, what about yourself? Because I know you tend to go see like any movie that kind of comes out. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go see any movie that comes out, even if it's some plebe-ass movie that no one knew was coming out. But I really think it just depends on, your point of view. I mean, recently, we, like you touched on, we recently had the pandemic, and I really think that maybe sort of increased the amount of people staying at home and just, dedicating themselves to streaming services as opposed to going back to the theater, whether they're just more comfortable at home or they just don't want to go to the movie full of crowded. They just don't want to go to the movies with a, theater full of crowded people. There have been, I also think it may also have something to do with the marketing of certain films because, part of the journey I've had this year is, you look at some of the marketing for some of these films we've seen, movies like Firestarter really only had maybe one trailer and a few advertisements on TV, and they didn't really get played that often. And I remember when I went to go see Firestarter, dude, I was the only one in my screening. There was nobody in there. It was dead quiet. I was like, when I said in my review, I was as loud and rowdy as I wanted to be. I was loud and rowdy. But I can remember, I went and saw The Cursed at the beginning of the year. That had a decent amount of people in it. Recently, you touched on Men. When I went and saw Men, there was only a few people in there. So I really think it just depends on what's coming out and really just how much marketing there has been behind certain films. Because, Top Gun is like the biggest thing out there right now. And I think that movie was slated to come out in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so there's been like 2 years worth of build up to this movie. So people have been waiting for this thing for 2 damn years.
Right.
So it really just depends on how you view it, whether you think, it's because people just don't want to go or, it just depends on what's coming out, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I've got to agree. And I think one thing that Joe touched on, which I think is a very good point, is one thing I've noticed where you tend to get like a lot more of an audience is if it's like any kind of horror movie that's on at the cinema. Right. Because especially like, I guess like us guys, we think, oh, we'll take the girl to the cinema. We'll go to see like a horror movie kind of thing. I'm not saying like, girls don't think about that, about the same sex. Right. But, just experiences in the past, I'm sure when we've all dated is like before, I'll take the girl to the cinema. But like they tend to just kind of bring people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. We've actually got a couple of comments to reference this. So Sophie says, I would rather watch films at home where I can pause and go to the toilet and not pay millions for snacks. Yeah.
That's why I sneak my snacks in, son.
Right.
I remember one year. I remember the year Last Jedi came out, and that was around Christmas, so it was cold. I wore the biggest coat I had, snuck in a whole 2 liter of A&W, and I was good to go. Anyway,
you're just taking drinks in and then just selling the people inside.
Dude, I've walked in with bags of chips, snacks. My mom went to a screening with me one time where she brought a nanny bag with her, and we just stuffed it full of crap, and she just threw a bunch of stuff on top of it to make it look like it was just a purse full of shit. And we had bags of M&Ms, Skittles, Jolly Ranchers. She brought in like a 6-pack of Mountain Dew, and people were looking at us like we were nuts. But you got to do what you got to do. If you don't feel like spending millions of dollars on concessions, which I don't,
right?
try to get your own stuff in if you can, even if it's just something small. I mean, yeah,
right. Well, see, because it's so different because like where me and Joe live, and obviously in the UK, like you can kind of just take in anything you want. Not so like.
That's what I do. Like when I take my sons, obviously, the price of sweets in cinemas. Like, I know you've mentioned on one of your streams before, like a pack of sweets can cost £4 at a cinema, and I refuse to pay that price. So I'll go to the supermarket before and get that same packet of sweets for £1. So I'll tell my sons, get whatever sweets you want, take them to the cinema. But it still doesn't work out because as soon as I get to the cinema, my sons want something else, like nachos. So I always have to spend something anyway.
So you're part of this whole thing about Sophie saying doesn't want to pay millions for snacks. You're a sucker.
Yeah, basically, like, I am a sucker.
Right. That's awesome. And Sophie also said, "Joe, I love your tattoos."
Thanks, Sophie.
I think the last.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I think the last time I actually spent money on concessions was when I think it was when I had my screening for The Secrets of Dumbledore, which was a travesty of filmmaking. I swear to God. Like I got so bored that I actually went in the lobby like halfway through the movie. I didn't give a shit what was going on at that point, and I spent probably about $30 US on fucking concessions. Which, you spend that amount of money at a concession stand here in the US, something is wrong with you. Yeah, like you got no business spending that much money on concessions.
Dude, yeah,
anyway.
I remember watching your review and you mentioning that as well. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Very quick, I just want to read Jamie's commentation. So she said, "Yeah, I'm with Joe. It's hard with kids. We go to the drive-in because we don't want to interrupt anyone, but there's definitely still people who regularly go, not just for the big blockbusters." Jamie has at least one child. I'm not sure if she has more. So yeah, I think she's kind of like on the same wavelength with Joe, because obviously Joe, as you as a parent, you have a different of going to cinema, whereas like me and Nate have maybe more time to just go see anything and everything that's on.
But like I do love going to the cinema, and I would go to the cinema more, but obviously I don't have a lot of free time for myself. But obviously I do like going to the cinema still with my wife or my kids. But I do like streaming as well. Like I do like lying in bed with my wife and just watching Netflix or something. I like the best of both worlds. I'd still always go to the cinema because I think some movies you need that cinema experience, because it just doesn't show the same on a TV. So I don't think cinemas will go anywhere. I think certain cinema chains might, because also in the UK we've got like View, Odeon, Cineworld, and maybe others. So maybe a couple might go bust in due time. But I think there's always going to be a franchise there if you ever want to go to a cinema.
Yeah, you hit it pretty much on the head. There are just some movies out there that need to be seen in a theater. Yeah. They were meant to be seen in theater.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird because I bought Spider-Man No Way Home on Blu-ray about a month ago, and you go back to, seeing that movie in the theater, people cheering and losing their minds when certain characters would appear or certain things would happen. You really don't get that same feeling or experience at home sitting by yourself. So not every movie, but certain movies need to be seen in a theater for sure.
100%.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And especially like you were saying about No Way Home, like that audience reaction of when the Spider-Man's appear. So spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Right.
But that moment when the Spider-Man's appear, Tobey Maguire returns and Andrew Garfield, you're not going to get that reaction at home from people around. It's like excited or like chewing extra popcorn or like, in America, they were like standing up, clapping and shouting, which we don't get that over here in the UK.
Have you ever flipped a movie off because it pissed you off so badly? I have.
Yeah. I mean, there's been. I think Nathan, just to quickly touch back on your comment about Firestarter, where you said you were the only one in the cinema. Like over in the UK, I've got like a cinema pass, so you can go as much times as you want, like every single day. There's no limit. Yeah. So a bit like you. So I've seen 2 movies where I've been by myself both times. One of them was the sequel to The Blair Witch, the one that came out a couple of years back.
Was it 2016? I think so.
Something like that. I can't remember what year, but I think something along those lines. And there was another one called Down with the Mountain Lions, which was like a UK-based movie.
That's probably why I never heard of it.
Nah. Well, both of them suck. So
they do.
But yeah, I was like,
Blair Witch sucks.
Right. Well, I was by myself on both of them, but even then I was just like, I don't want to make noise. I was just like, what's the point? Even though I was on the street, and I was like, I'll just leave afterwards.
Oh no, dude! I got to the ending of Firestarter, and once again, there was nobody in there, dude. And you already know, we've talked about it. Them walking off into the sunset like they've been best buddies the whole time. I was like, no, fuck you, fuck this movie. You cannot do that to me. I am leaving. I was like, Marines, we are leaving.
Right. I know exactly what you mean, but I know, Joe, you haven't seen Firestarter yet, have you?
No, I want. It's something else on my list to see because I absolutely love Zac Efron. So. He's like my man crush, so I need to see it.
You know what? I was gonna say something, but just because you said he's your man crush, I'm gonna hold my tongue.
Yeah. Keep to yourself, Nathan.
I won't spoil your fun.
But while we're talking as well, and we've got more comments to read. Again, anyone who's tuning in live right now, please leave any questions you want. It doesn't have to be cinema related; it can be literally anything. We'll get to them. We've got Gareth here saying, "I used to live the cinema. I used to live next to the cinema, but it used to take 6 to 12 months before you could rent it. Now it's less than 3 before it's streaming." Yeah, so I know, for example, I think within the next 1 or 2 months maximum, the new Doctor Strange is going to be on like Disney Plus for free.
Yeah,
I think it's June. I think it's June 22nd.
Which is silly because it's still at the cinema right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's like I said. Once upon a time, it used to take a year to progress from cinema to DVD or on TV to watch. But now it's a few months, and you think I can just wait a few months and watch a film for free rather than going to the cinema and spending all that money. So. I don't know, maybe the film companies and the streaming sites have some kind of deal so they can get the rights to that movie to show after a few months now. I don't know. But it does seem a very quick turnover of time now.
Yeah, there's I know like Disney specifically, they're so keen on getting their titles onto like Disney Plus after the cinema.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of one of those things you don't have to go to the cinema because a couple like months time of Doctor Strange, it's free. It's part of your subscription. You pay monthly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a bit daft. Yeah, like, I remember years and years ago, like me and Joe, when we were like in our teens growing up, we'll watch a movie at the cinema and say like we want to watch it on TV. It would take like a year before it got like Sky Premiere channel. Yeah. And it's just crazy. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Gareth, you make a very good point. Sophie says she does like to treat herself to nachos. So
they are delicious.
They do got some good cheese. I'll give them that.
the cheese on the salsa. That's my go-to. We've also got Sophie. She's got a couple comments here. She said, that's my favorite thing to do about the streaming at home. She says, that's my favorite to do is to cook a pizza, get some cider and cuddle up with her other half, stick a film on a TV show, and type of little thing. Yeah, well, I know like Sophie travels a couple of hours to go see a partner because they live quite a distance.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine for both those guys, it's probably easier just to sit at home and watch a movie instead of going out to the cinema.
Yeah.
Especially when you haven't seen them for so long, you want to spend that bit extra time.
Well, last time I took my girl to a cinema, I about assaulted somebody physically, so never again.
Wow.
That's why. That's why I keep telling you, bring me on Cinema Horror Stories, man. I got some fucking stories.
well, don't worry. You're in the line. Don't you worry.
All right.
So yeah, well, Sophie also said here, like I'm glad she's glad that she saw Spider-Man and Batman in cinema, but X she's sad because it was a waste of money. Not seen X. Nathan, you've seen X, right?
Yeah, it was one of the first films I reviewed this year. I can see why people would be turned off to it. I don't mean that in a pun kind of way, but yeah, I remember I saw. That was another one of those movies that had very few people in there, but the people that were in there with me, we all kind of had the same look when all the gratuitous nudity and sex is going on. We're all just looking at each other like, what is going on here? It kind of takes you out a bit, but you know, it seems like a very divisive film because, you know, once again, A24, they're very known for making very what the hell is going on kind of horror movies. I did like the final act when it starts kicking it into high gear and it starts turning into a slasher film. I feel like that's when it's at its best. But yeah, I just don't know if it's something I would sit down and watch with my girl because she would look at me like, why are you making me watch this?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, well, I was just going to say it very quickly because Joe, do you know about A24, the movie studio?
No, never heard of it before.
Well, basically with like what Nathan's kind of going on, and then the next comment we've got from there was another comment here. I don't know where it's gone, but it was about Men, which is A24.
I think I saw it.
Yeah, where they've done X, they've done Men, Hereditary, and like Midsummer. That's like 4 big titles.
Yeah, they're trippy movies. I've seen Hereditary and Midsummer. Midsummer I wasn't a massive fan of. Hereditary I quite enjoyed, but they are different type of movies. They're like, what's going on? Like, it gets your mind thinking into overdrive, which is cool. It's something different.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, just what Nathan was saying just before in the story, and sorry I interrupted, but yeah, just basically like those movies and like yourself, Joe, like I like that they're different, but they're like, I don't know, I can't get away with a lot of the movies.
It kind of seems like what they do formulaically. It seems like they kind of just throw shit at the wall and they just kind of wait and see what happens pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, because I like Hereditary. I saw Midsommar in the theater. I did not like it. I get the appeal of it. I think it's a brilliantly constructed film. It's pretty to look at, but once again, it's one of those movies where I'm like, I just don't get this. You know, X kind of split me down the middle because there are moments in X that I really like, and then there are moments that I really don't like. And then I saw Men, which, you know, to me, this is purely opinion based. And, you know, if you want to see my full thoughts on Men, you can go check out my review on my channel. But yeah, I fall onto the side of, I think it's a very unique film. And I think the message and the theme behind it is also pretty great. And kind of, once again, when you get to the final act of it, you're like, what is going on? Yeah, it was really trippy, but man, when it finally clicked, what is going on? I was like, oh, that's cool. Holy crap.
Right.
I walked out of Men with a pretty big smile on my face. It felt really good.
Joe, just you wait till you see the ending of Men. You're going to be like, what the hell's going on?
I'll check it out. I'll probably stream it.
Spoilers without context. Let's just say I'm not having kids for the next 10 years.
Right.
But also, reverting back to Sophie's comment, what she made before, how she said she was happy she went to see Spider-Man and Batman at the cinema, but she was annoyed at wasting money on seeing X.
Yeah.
And that's where the question, that's where the thing comes in again about the cinema and the streaming. Like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix. Obviously, that didn't get a cinema release, but I probably would have went to see that at the cinema, and I would have really begrudged paying the money to see it after the final product because I thought it was pretty poor. But watching it on the streaming site, I thought, yeah, it was okay. But if I watched it at the cinema, I'd be like, what a load of crap, what a waste of money. If you know, so
some movies just don't need to be made.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't mind remakes and franchises and all that, but I think it keeps the Leatherface. I love Leatherface, and I just can't imagine no more Texas Chainsaw Massacre films coming out. Like, I don't mind seeing loads and loads of movies. I know a lot of them aren't going to be as good as the originals, but it's just always nice to see that iconic character still being preserved in time for new audiences. So I appreciate that fact, but the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre wasn't great.
But at the same time, like, to kind of agree with what you were saying as well, is the fact that Netflix bought the rights to stream Texas Chainsaw, and if it had a big budget or not, I think maybe the practical effects probably took most of it with the blood and the bus scene. Seen it. But for example, that movie probably would have earned more money on streaming because like, as soon as that got released on day one in the cinema, we got panned and no one would have gone to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Netflix have got like maybe some big numbers because people's tuned and watched it, and they're like, oh well, we've made some money of that. Let's put that into making a sequel, and that will probably be a better movie because they've got more time and they're making the movie, not just buying the rights to it. Yeah,
I think the fact is that if you're at home, people will watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre anyway. They'll be like, oh, we'll just put Texas Chainsaw Massacre on tonight, something to watch. But it's something that you might not want to go to the cinema to see. Whereas a streaming site, you will watch it, but you won't go out to a cinema to watch it. It's just certain type of movies. Some are made for streaming, some are made for cinema. So
why would I pay to go see something like that when I could go see The Bad Guys or The Northman or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. We've all seen better movies than that this year. But Jimmy D says it might be free, but it was awesome seeing Wanda in Doctor Strange on the big screen. She was terrifying. Yeah. Sure, have you seen the new Doctor Strange?
Not saying it yet. Not saying it.
Okay.
Because I know me and Nate have seen this. That's why I've got to ask you if you've seen it yet as well.
No, I haven't seen it yet because I want to take my sons to see it, but they haven't seen the first Doctor Strange, so I'd like to see them. Let them see the first one. No.
Negative Ghost Rider, don't do it. Like, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying, don't do it.
It's got a lot of horror vibes to it.
Like this movie is
Sam. I like that.
This movie is Sam Raimi as hell, and you do not need to take your kids. It's a bad idea.
Fair enough. I was also from Play Nintendo saying, "Hey guys, what's going on?" So, hey Pete, how you doing? Good. Let's have a look. We've got quite a few more comments. So sorry guys, just trying to catch up.
Not telling you what to do, man. I'm just playing around. but there is a lot of crazy imagery in it that might be a little too much for younger audiences.
They probably don't mind that. We were literally watching Dawn of the Dead and Army of the Dead a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
I won't be getting no Father for Year awards anyway. So.
Well, in that case, it may not be too bad then. That makes me feel a lot better.
It's got
nothing on them.
Nah. I do want to read one comment out here. So we had a person in the stream earlier called 4K Trevor, and I noticed in the comments before he was being a little bit disrespectful. Yeah. So just to let anyone know who's reading the comments, I did block him because anyone who's going to be disrespectful in the chat, they're not welcome here.
Yeah,
just no need.
I did see the back and forth between whoever that was and Sophie, but
I didn't see nothing.
I didn't want to draw any attention to it, just because people are dicks. I mean,
and there's just no need for anyone to be disrespectful, so that they're out of it.
No, we're here to chill out, have a fun time, dude.
But instead, we've got awesome John Smith. So, John, thank you for tuning in. Hello,
hey, John.
Good. Sophie says, kind of agreeing with Joe as well. She was saying, yeah, me and my other half are like 3 trains apart, so it's easy to watch films at home. But we do go to cinema, but the money adds up.
Yeah.
I think especially like, say me and Nate, we have like cinema passes, so we can go as often as we want. But Joe, when you go, obviously you take your kids on like an individual basis and like individual price.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
but yeah, it is because it was. I remember last time I took my sons to the cinema. I think this is either Sonic 2 at the cinema. So I think the cinema tickets alone cost about £25 to £30, and then obviously my kids wanted nachos as well, so I've got them, and I got some nachos for them. So 3 cinema tickets and 3 portions of nachos cost nearly £60, and
oh my god,
so it's quite a lot of money.
I say that because I think the equivalent of a pound is like maybe $1. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but that just sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot.
Mike, how much are you paying for your pass, by the way?
So I've paid mine off yearly, and I think mine was like equivalent to your money. I think it was maybe about $200 for the year.
Oh, okay. I pay mine monthly. Mine's about $18 every month. It's not terrible. I mean, especially when you see the amount of movies that we see, you know, that'll tally up over time. So the $18 is worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Completely agree. And I think if I didn't have like my cinema pass, I would only go see like the big like movies that I generally really want to see, like probably like the Batman, like Spider-Man No Way Home. I probably wouldn't have had much interest in Top Gun, being honest with you.
Yeah.
But obviously with the pass, it helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like the same with Joe. You know, I would just gonna maybe say like Sonic and stuff like that. You know, particular titles.
Yeah.
Sophie's got a question for Nate, and she says, Nate, do you class Midsummer as a horror or more psychological thriller?
I would say it pretty much. I would say it kind of falls into the realm of psychological thrillers. I do think it has elements of horror in it because there are some scenes in it that are pretty grotesque. You know, the people the people jumping off the cliff and just splatting on rocks below. You're like, what the hell are they doing? It can be very gruesome at some times, but I do think it falls more into the realm of psychological horror than anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would say like the most horror part was that the rock part as you touch on the go.
Oh yeah.
Not going to get too graphic. Yeah.
No.
Sophie said £60 is around $75, Nate, for Joe's experience with there.
Okay. So I was wrong. Okay. It's okay.
It's still a crazy amount of money though, right?
Yes, it still is.
Laura's in here. So hey, Laura, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. She says, definitely agree. I wouldn't have paid to see Texas Chainsaw at the cinema.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that I kind of missed out on when it came out on Netflix. Everybody was talking about how bad it was, and I was like, well, if it's that bad, then I'm probably not going to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's kind of like what we were all saying, like Texas Chainsaw being on like Netflix. Like it wasn't too bad. Like I really enjoyed the gore aspect of it.
Yeah.
Leatherface was badass when he showed up. But like everything else was terrible.
Yeah, but it was good. I enjoyed it because it was all right because I got to watch it on Netflix. But if I went to see it at the cinema, I probably would have had a different opinion on it. I probably would have thought it sucked. But considering I was coming from my own home and it's on a subscription basis, I enjoyed it more. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you think maybe if they did release it in theaters, it might have been better with an audience? Because I don't know, man. I've seen people go crazy for Texas Chainsaw in the past, man. So
yeah, but, possibly because also it's a massive franchise. But I thought the storyline was a problem with that. It just brought too much politics from a modern day and age into that movie, like having influences in it, and the story didn't make much sense. As Mike said, the gore in it's phenomenal. It's probably one of the best for gore in the franchise, I personally think, but the story was just atrocious.
Yeah, they're trying to do way too much in a movie that has a pretty already straightforward premise.
So, yeah, basically.
Right. Yeah, completely agree. I think in terms of like if it was at the cinema and like it's different cinema experience, it would have been cool because you would have had like so many people crowded to like excited to see Leatherface back on the big screen.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately you would have had people walk out and just be like, that was shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You know, so I think it's a tough one to kind of juggle, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, just anyone who's tuning live now, please leave any comments and any questions you have, and we'll certainly get to them. Ask anything you like. We've got a couple of comments where Sophie and John were just kind of a chat between themselves. So they're talking about pretty much Texas Chainsaw. So that's all.
You're allowed to talk to each other in the comments. We don't mind.
So, well, while we're waiting for a couple more questions to come through, what I'm going to ask you guys is, so Joe, we'll start with you. So what movies or TV series have you been watching this week?
So I managed to watch all the new Stranger Things, and that's all the new releases I've managed to watch this week. Because also when I've got my sons, they always want to watch their cartoon and kiddie stuff, so I don't get much chance to watch anything I want to watch. Because by the time they go to bed, I want to go to bed. So, so my free time to watch stuff when I'm at work, basically. So
Yeah, that's fair. Well, what we'll do, we'll touch on Stranger Things without spoilers for anyone who's not seen it, without giving too much. Nate, have you seen the full season yet?
You're probably going to think this is sacrilege. I am one of those people that has not seen Stranger Things at all.
Wow. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, and I know it sounds ridiculous and it sounds stupid, but I think when the first season came out, what year was that? Because I was watching something else at the time. I think it was a show or a movie, and I knew Stranger Things was out. People were talking about it. I heard people talking about it, but I just never got around to watching it.
Yeah.
And I see all the buzz that the fourth season is getting, and I am going to be sitting down and watching Stranger Things pretty soon, just because I need to see what all the talk is about, man. I've heard nothing but I've that's what I've heard. I've heard nothing but great things about it. So yeah, I'll definitely be sitting down and checking it out at some point.
Yeah. Well, Sophie said she thinks 2016, by the way, for the first season.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I didn't watch Stranger Things when it first got released. I think I only started to watch Stranger Things maybe last year or maybe about a year and a half ago, because I wasn't very well. So I had a long period of time where I was on sick at work. So I was at home a lot, and I just binge watched TV because I didn't leave the house much. And that's when I come across Stranger Things, and I watched it, and just phenomenal. The first few episodes, you do take a little bit of getting used to. You think, but if you stick with it, it's just unreal, absolutely fantastic.
Right,
you'll love it, Nate.
I'll definitely check it out for sure. I need to.
I think you would dig it as well, to be honest.
100%. It's so good.
Like it's one of those shows that people have been talking about so much, and I'm sitting over here going, well, I haven't seen it yet. It makes me wonder if I really need to, it really makes me wonder if I need my movie nerd card revoked or something. I don't know.
Just your new channel name, just the unbiased, and that's it.
I am pretty unbiased, man. Well, except when it comes to Spider-Man, I've fanboyed all over that thing. So
right. Well, just very quickly touch on Stranger Things. So again, we're not going to give any spoilers because Nate's not seen it. For anyone in the chat who's not seen any of the new season yet, Joe, very quickly, what would you say is your overall thoughts so far on like volume 1 of season 4?
It's probably the best out of all of them. I've loved every single season, but these episodes, like it feels like good horror as well. So you obviously get sci-fi, and you get the horror element as well. And I just think it's the best season so far, without doubt. And I can't wait for the last part of the season to get released.
Right. Yeah, and I think the last part's coming out in early July. If I'm not
July, yeah.
I will say it does look very Lovecraftian. which I'm down for some Lovecraftian horror, man. So,
well, they play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons in it. That's like a big theme.
Nice.
I think you're going to be on board.
Speaking my language.
Yeah, I think in terms of the new Stranger Things, without going into spoilers, like I think with Joe, I think like the horror aspect in the season is probably one of the best it's been.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go. I think the only issue I've got with this newest season, without spoilers, is there's just too many characters at this point, and there's like so many different arcs going on, which is cool. But some of them I'm not bothered about, and I wish they'd maybe kill off like one or two people by now. But,
yeah, I understand what you mean, because TV shows do that so much. Though you have a good base of characters, and as seasons go on, they introduce more and more people, and then this original group of people who you enjoyed, they don't get as much airtime because it's split everything. Like The Walking Dead's a prime example. My favorite TV show that started off so good with a bunch of about 8 to 10 characters, and now on season 13 or whatever it's on, there's about 40 characters, and you just can't keep up. You're like, why? Just kill someone, please.
I'm trying to think of some stuff I've seen this week. Obviously, I already talked about Kenobi. So
yeah.
I did I did. Prince of Egypt. I got to sit down and watch one of my favorite DreamWorks movies of all time, dude.
Never seen it.
You've never seen The Prince of Egypt?
No.
Dude, you ever get a chance, like in terms of animated films, like, and this is outside the Disney Pantheon, it's a DreamWorks movie. I think it came out in 1998. It came out the year I was born, but dude, it's a story of Moses. If you've read the Bible or anything like that, it. Yeah. Dude, it is such a beautifully animated movie. It's got great music, it's got a great cast. You got Patrick Stewart. He plays the Pharaoh in the movie. And dude, it's one of those movies, if you get really invested into it, it might bring you to tears at some point, man. It's a really good, it's a really good animated film. I wouldn't classify it as a kid's movie because, dude, there are moments in it where it is dark. Like they go over the plagues of Egypt and everything, and you get the Holy Ghost coming in and wiping out all the firstborns and shit. You're like, this is an animated kids movie. Why is there child murder going on? What's happening? But dude,
yeah, I've been intrigued to see it.
Yeah, if you get a chance to check it out.
I will. I've seen the DVD cover so many times. I've just never seen it. But very quickly switching it back to the horror aspect, because we've got a comment from John. He says, speaking of gore, I recently watched The Sadness, which I know Joe's seen, and I know it's meant to be like very violent.
Yeah, unreal.
That's
probably one of the best films I've seen this year, and it's probably one of the goriest films I've seen as well. Some people might take it quite sensitive because there's quite a few rape references which I don't like, but the gore is second to none. It's fantastic, really good. Give it a watch. Anyone who hasn't seen it and loves horror, you'll love it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I've heard it's maybe like very graphic. So
it is really graphic.
Yeah,
which I like.
True. Stranger Things. Yeah, definitely. She says, have any of you guys seen My Bloody Valentine from 2009?
I have.
Joe, you?
Is that Jamie Lee Curtis in it?
I think it's got Jensen Ackles in it. He plays the killer, but he also plays Dean Winchester in Supernatural, I believe. Actually, yeah, he does. What am I talking about? God.
I'm having a look.
It rings a bell.
No, Jamie Lee Curtis isn't in that one.
No.
The killer looks like a miner, and he's got a giant ass pickaxe.
Again, it's another movie I've seen at the DVD cover of so many times. I've just never seen the movie.
Yeah, like Nate, is that the one when he's underground or something with a pickaxe, like you mentioned?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
He lives in like an abandoned coal mine or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen it a long time ago. I enjoyed it though. It's a good slasher film.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not in the same realm as your Friday the 13th or your Halloweens. But in terms of a
Yeah,
fun one-off slasher, it's pretty
yeah,
fun.
yeah, great.
Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. I've seen the DVD cover so many times. I used to work in a DVD shop years ago, but
Yeah,
and so he said that she finally got convinced her other half to watch Stranger Things, and he's on season 3 already. So that's awesome. I'm assuming he's enjoying it. If he's on season 3
he
already.
stopped.
Right, and she only started watching in 2018. John says, only seen the first few episodes of the first season of Stranger Things. It was fine, but maybe it'd been oversold. Though it was great to see my childhood crush by Winona Ryder again. Yeah,
she was pretty hot in the late 90s and the mid 2000s.
Oh,
Man.
yes.
She's aged well. She aged Jamie Lee says, so good. I reckon you'd like it, Nate. And we watched it from the start. Season 1 is awesome. Season 4 is perfect so far, and season 3 was good. 2 was poor. Yeah, season 2 is a bit naff, being honest with you.
Would I still need to watch season 2 to get the full context of what's going on? Or
Yeah.
Okay. As long as I need to watch it for that, then I'll still watch it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm excited if you do watch it. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. I'll put it that way. But is 30 plus minutes of adverts and trailers too much? And should the film start at the set time with ads playing while people come in and sit down? So I think he's talking about the cinema, because I'm sure for you as well, it shows like half an hour and then it's kind of like
he's talking about the 30 minutes of trailers they play before each movie.
Yeah.
So I think, like, don't get me wrong, I think we all understand why they play the trailers, like, because obviously they get sponsors from their own brands before the show, the film trailers. I mean, quick opinion for myself, and then I'll ask you guys. So one thing I noticed what really bugs me is yesterday when Men was shown at 1:10 the film didn't start until maybe like 1:30, maybe or like 25 to 2. I can't remember what time. Obviously, I had my phone away. But like even after the movie started, like 10 minutes afterwards, people were still coming in.
Right.
Like 10 minutes into the movie, all you see is that bright phone light shining. And I think they should kind of make it in cinemas where once the movie's started, by all means, if you're coming through the trailers, that's okay. But once the movie started, like a bit like a theatre where they don't let you in after the time when the film starts, because I appreciate there might be traffic and stuff, but like when the trailers are half an hour, you've got that half an hour at least to get there. Travel before then. But yeah, I think 30 minutes sometimes is a little bit too much with the adverts. But if you kind of time it right, like I do, I only tend to see maybe like 1 or 2 trailers of like 1 or 2 film trailers, one of their own, and then that's it, the film's on. So Joe, what do you reckon? Especially with obviously having 2 young kids, what do you think?
See, I don't mind having a lot of trailers when I'm with my sons because I've got good time management skills. I hate being late for anything. I'm always early. So obviously we're in the cinema. Obviously there's nothing on the screen. And also my kids up and about, they're talking, they're being too loud. So having that extra bit of time with the trailers playing, it gives them a bit more time to settle down and ease them into knowing the film's going to be starting shortly. So I like that. But when I go with myself and I'm with my wife or yourselves, I feel like it is too much trailers. So yet again, sometimes I don't mind, but sometimes like I do. So it's one of those things. But like I said, they need the revenue from them sponsorships as well, from the ads, to keep the cinemas going. Because without them, we're going to lose a lot of revenue, and then that could be a potential downfall of cinema. So you take a good of it, I suppose, don't you, with everything?
Right. I think, because Nate, I'm going to hear from you in a second, but I think maybe like a cool idea could be, even if they had 1 or 2 showings per day, they have like a set showing where they show like 1 or 2 ads and that's it. And maybe you like people who are going normally without cinema pass maybe pays an extra 50 pence for that, because you know that 50 pence times X amount of people will probably pay for those ads or at least a portion of it. But yeah, Nate, what about you? What do you think about 30 minutes of ads? Do you think it's too much?
There have been screenings I've gone to where they don't play 30 minutes of trailers. They may show like maybe 1 or 2 advertisements for 1 or 2 movies that are coming out and then move on. when I went and saw Family Camp, God damn it, I hate that fucking movie. They played they showed two trailers at the beginning of my screening for that. And I didn't mean to make you choke right there.
Yeah,
like get ready. The rest of the year, I'm gonna be taking jabs at that movie anytime I can. They showed two trailers at the beginning of my screening for that, and then obviously about a week or two later, I went and saw Top Gun, and I think they played like maybe 10, 11 trailers at my screening for that, and it can be very overwhelming, I guess. Because if I book a movie for, say 1:30 p.m. or something like that, the movie is supposed to start at 1:30 p.m. or that's what your ticket says. But what it really means is when you go in, at 1:30 p.m., you get to watch all these advertisements, and then the movie starts 45 minutes later. And I guess it can also just depend on how long the movie is. If I go see a movie really late at night, I may not be in the mood to sit through 30 minutes of trailers. I may just want to get through the film, go home and go to bed. But I do think it can be very excessive at sometimes. It's like, guys, you can show these trailers at other screenings. You don't have to shove them all into this one big film that we're all here to see. But I think the reason they do that is so they can reach a mass audience, and they kind of let everyone know, hey, these are coming out at some point. And it may be for, people that are not like me and Mike, where, we're always there, so I think these trailers are mainly geared at people who don't always go to the cinema. That way, when they see it, they can go, oh, okay, this is coming out. I may have to come back, and I may want to come back and see this. But I think for people like me and Mike, it can be a little excessive and annoying. Especially if we've had like a long day at work and we just want to get through the screening and go home.
Well, I think the problem is when I've been to the cinema, you only see 5 movie trailers. So it might take about 10 minutes at most. But before that, you get 20 minutes of sponsored adverts, and they're the ones I don't like as much. The movie trailers I don't mind because, like it says, it might convince like not regular cinema goers to come more often. Because there's been plenty of times when I've seen a movie trailer, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to come see that. And it does get you in, and I think that's the whole purpose of it. But it's the sponsored advert trailers beforehand I don't really like. I think that's too much.
Yeah, I came to watch the movie, not watch 30 minutes of advertisements that I could easily just go watch at home.
Yeah, basically watching Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon and his mobile phone adverts.
Right. I agree, because I noticed one thing, like especially at Cineworld, they show like the sponsored trailers, then they'll show the movie trailers, but then they'll show 2 more sponsored trailers than the movie. And it's like, why not just show the sponsored trailers with the sponsored trailers, and then it's done. Laura says, look, Stranger Things managed to pin the whole season 4 in 3 days.
Impressive.
It's big, and then when you get onto season 4, every episode's like an hour 15 to like an hour 50 each.
Dude, that's a movie. That's not an episode. That's a movie. What the hell?
Right. It's because they've taken like 3-4 years to make it, so they're kind of making it for it. We've got Josh from Classic Tunes in. So, hey, Josh, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. He says, hope you're all well. He says he saw Men last night, and it's one of my favorites of the year. Very symbolic and amazingly produced. Yeah, it's got like a lot of good qualities to it. And now that I think about it more, it certainly has like good qualities to it. But I think I don't know. I don't think it's for everyone. That's what I said in my review. For like a casual moviegoer, I don't think it's for them. It's more for people who are really in depth into movies.
Yeah. It's meant for people who are a fan of cinema and they're a fan of the way movies are made. So yeah, like you said, Mike, it's not meant for everybody.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Jamie says yes. Okay, well, she's talking about Stranger Things. Basically, not killing cats.
I love the confused look on your face when you read that.
I was like, who's W? But yeah, I get it. Jimmy says, in regards to Joe, she said Rick Grimes needs to come back for Walking Dead.
Yeah, it needs to. Like, like, in all fairness, I've been a fan from a show since day one, and I will watch it until it finishes. But like, it's been pretty poor the last 6 seasons, and it's been a pretty hard watch. And I've only continued to watch it because I want to see if Rick comes back as well, which I think he will, and I hope he does. But we'll see.
You see, I know nothing about what they're talking about because I've never seen Stranger Things. So
Well, we're talking about Walking Dead. Have you seen Walking Dead?
I'm a total stupid moment right there. I'm sorry. Anyway, my bad.
No, it's cool. But Joe, yeah, I think you're right. I think they've had like a free film negotiation with Rick.
Yeah.
I'm not watching after like season 4, so I don't know. John says, though he's late to this one, has anyone seen Dark? It's called The German Stranger Things. Well, it isn't, but that's what people call that. I've seen the ads. He said it's both amazing and infuriating, and it gets so complicated you need to take notes. I've seen it. I think it's like subtitled, I think. But never seen it. Have you guys seen it, Dark?
I haven't even heard of it. So.
No, me neither. Is it on Netflix?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
I might give it a watch.
I got to binge 4 seasons of Stranger Things, and then I got to go binge 3 seasons of that. I don't know if I can do that.
Stick to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Josh said he's trying to make a video on the movie Men, but his family keep being loud when he records.
Wow.
Yeah, I can experiences.
I can relate.
Yeah, especially Joe. Obviously, if he wanted to record when the kids are there, he's got no chance.
Oh, no chance, man. I tried to do my mystery box video. My 2 sons were awake, and I was like, "This is not happening, man." I was like, "Go to bed."
You know, Mike, I need to publish a video on my channel of just all the crazy outtakes from when I'm trying to record my videos, because you know, obviously my reviews are scripted. I write my thoughts down, you know. I type up my thoughts before I even start talking about the movie. But dude, there will be times where I'm filming where I may stutter or stammer, or you know, even the walls in my house are so fucking paper thin that I can hear every little thing my sister's doing. I can hear every little thing my parents are doing. And I'm just like, I cannot record in this environment. Everybody shut up.
Right. Yeah. And I think, I think that would make for a great video, like outtakes. Because there's so many times personally, and I'm sure you guys as well, where you're trying to say what you're saying. And I'm just like, I end up shouting at the screen or going red. I'm just like screw this, and I'll take myself, I'll go get a drink, and then I'll come back in.
My favorite ones are the ones where I try to do really long takes, and I just keep fumbling over my words every time I try. It gets really frustrating after a while.
Right.
My outtakes would literally consist of me saying, "For fuck's sake."
I know that feeling.
That'd be my outtake. Just that times 100.
You may see me knock my keyboard mouse off the table on occasion in anger. Anyway,
subscribe to our channels. You might see videos of that in the future. Laura asks thoughts on reboots. I'm a fan of The Crow and think it's one that shouldn't have a reboot. I'd probably watch it just to see what it was like.
Movie.
Never
burn
seen
it down. Burn it down. Burn it down.
Yeah, I think reboots can be cool depending on like what the movie is. If it's got like a passionate director behind it and who cares for like the original movie and source materials, and like to get like a good budget and a good cast. But like if it's like Netflix, where they recently did that Texas Chainsaw, which is like a sequel to the first ever one kind of thing, but kind of like a modern reboot, like that was terrible.
I think there's a different there's, and once again, this is purely opinion based. I do genuinely think there's a huge difference between a reboot and a remake. A reboot is when you're taking an old IP or an old idea and you're starting from scratch and you're revamping it for a whole nother audience or generation.
Yeah.
A remake is when you're taking something that already exists and you're making the exact same film that's come before.
Yeah.
I think it can work for certain things, but I really think, this once again purely opinion based. I'd like to see I'd like to see some movies that maybe really weren't that good to begin with, maybe get remakes and they try to improve on them and make them better. That could be a good idea. But it just doesn't make sense to me that they keep remaking, we talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre earlier. Why do they keep remaking that? We've had 2 Halloween reboots in probably the past 15 years, I think.
Yeah. Rob Zombie ones and then the new ones.
It really just depends on what they're working with and whether or not they can make it work. And some of them work and some of them don't. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think?
So I say I don't mind reboots and remakes because obviously you guys the movie professionals, obviously, so you don't mind watching for old films.
I'm a professional.
Professional. Like, you don't mind watching the old films, but for me, like, I like all the modern effects. So I found out I've seen the old Crow because obviously I was young when that come out. But like, if someone told me like Firestarter, how that was a remake, I think the remake's a bit too old for me to want to go back and watch because I'm not a massive fan of watching all the old effects and gore because I just don't think they hold up very well in this like current day and time. So if I went to see Firestarter, I'd be none the wiser of knowing a pre-existing movie was out. So it reboots and remakes can appeal to the new generation of audiences who won't go and watch the original film what was made. So I don't mind them at all, to be fair. Obviously, you get a lot of crappy remakes and reboots, but it's something to watch, isn't it? It's good material for you guys to review anyway. So,
and then you get the concept of like soft reboots too. I don't get the idea. I don't get the ideas behind soft reboots.
No, I think it's more like with the reboots. I think like you guys both like respectively hit the nail on the head. Like Joe with his fact of saying like for like a new generation, if they don't know about the original Firestarter, which for example like I didn't know about, like. I'm none the wiser, but that could include
either
the older movie or like the book, read the book, for example. But like Nate, he didn't know that about either. But as Nate, you were saying about like remakes and reboots, like sometimes they can be good, and sometimes it's just hit and miss. So
it just depends on what you're working with, and if Laura's still around, I'll probably end up reviewing The Crow, just because she brought it up. I love The Crow, man. That's another film you probably need to check out if you hadn't seen it.
The Crow is awesome.
It's very dark, very gothic. It's based on a very old graphic novel. I like the movie better than the graphic novel because there's not really much going on in the graphic novel. But man, the movie there's just something about the movie and the way it's presented. You're like, this is really cool. I like this.
well, Nate, that can be your next video for Throwback Thursdays next week.
I'll put up a poll on Facebook, son.
Right. Gareth from Video Chasers asked, "What was the last comedy film you saw in the cinema?" I can't remember.
Mike already knows mine, so.
It's the one that he's already mentioned in the stream.
Can we even call that a comedy though? I mean,
it's supposed to be.
I can call it what it really is, and that's a steaming pile of horror shit, pretty much. Oh, God.
I think so. Yeah, it's referring to Family Camp. I think the last kind of comedy I saw, which is more like a romantic comedy, is "Marry Me" with Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez.
I got that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's an alright film, to be fair. Joe, what about you? Because I know you tend to see a lot of kids' movies, so
I don't class kid movies as comedies. I just class them as kid movies. Like comedies, I class as stuff like Step Brothers and Rush Hour. They're comedies. Like kids' movies are kids' movies. So I can't remember the last time I'd seen a comedy at the cinemas years ago. I can't remember. Could be Rush Hour. I don't know.
If I'm overlooking Family Camp, which I'm still trying to erase from my mind, I think The Bad Guys was the last true comedy I actually saw in theaters. I laughed my ass off during The Bad Guys, man.
Bad Guys is awesome.
It is awesome.
Is that
Like
an animation film?
Yeah.
it is. I think
my son's watched that 2 days ago. Just streamed it. So
yeah, it's a very fun,
yeah.
it's a very fun animated comedy, dude. And
Oh,
it's
cool.
it's definitely one of those animated films that is kind of meant for everybody. It's not just geared towards one age group. Like everybody can find some kind of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
cool. Might
Right.
check it out.
Definitely. Yeah, Joe, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Pete says, been watching the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan. It's great. Definitely looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, it's had like a lot of hype to it, and I think they're definitely gonna, after all this time between the gaps of episode 3 and 4, they're gonna bridge it pretty well, I think, with Obi-Wan. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out. Josh is saying that he's making a video of men, but my family keep being loud when he records. Yeah, we all know that. Lego MU says, for some reason, after I finish my exams and I only have one left next Thursday, my dad still doesn't let me watch Obi-Wan for some damn reason. Stupid as hell.
I can remember those days as well. You're not allowed to do this certain thing until you finish this certain thing.
Well, Lego News, to tell your dad that you got the permission from Mike, Joe, and Nate that you can watch Obi-Wan. So tell your dad you're gonna watch it.
Tell him he's failed you for the last time.
Right. Exactly. George says, rewatched Top Gun Maverick today. It was better the second time. Have you seen it more than once? No, I've seen it once. I think Nate's only seen it once. Also,
I'm gonna see it again though. I'm actually going this upcoming weekend because I don't have any screenings at the end of the week.
Yeah, there's nothing out here in the UK either.
Yeah. Well, my cancer-ridden uncle wants to see it, so I'm gonna break him out of his house and take him to see it, and we're both gonna go see it.
Dude, he's gonna love it.
It's my second favorite movie of the year, man. I remember when I walked out of my first initial screening for it, I was like, I want to say I like it better than Northman, but man, the more I keep thinking about Northman, I'm like, it's a tough call because they're so good. So yeah, upon thinking about it more, I'm still leaning towards the Northman being number one, but Maverick is a very close second, dude.
Right. Well, two completely different movies and genres as well, so it's kind of hard to compare them. But yeah, to answer your question, Josh. So yeah, Nate's going to go see it the second time. I would go see it the second time, but Joe, you haven't seen it, have you?
No, I haven't seen it. I think I'd seen the original years ago, but I can't really remember it now. And I'd probably have to watch the first one again before I watched Maverick, just so I can get the feel for it again.
Yeah, it came out in 1986, man. And you know, for a movie that came out in 86, it sure doesn't look like a movie that came out in 86. It looks really good. Still holds up.
Do watch it again.
Yeah, it does. I would say though, Joe, I would say personal opinion, I would say Maverick's better than the first one. But that's just it's so good.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's better than the first. I can see why people would say that. Personally, I think it improves on things from the first movie.
Right.
You know, you can say it's better than the first one, but I think it improves on the stuff that was kind of already there.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it gives you more of appreciation for the first movie. That's what I felt.
Oh, dude, I laughed, cried, and cheered throughout the entire movie, dude. It's definitely one of the better ones.
Sure, for sure. And dude, you're always crying at the movie.
I am a little
That's
bitch
true.
boy. I am a little bitch boy from movies. So
it's awesome. But the viewer Drew, so hey viewer Drew, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. He says, which comic book movie would you rather watch again? Daredevil 2003 or Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider.
Mark Steve Johnson. Yeah, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Joe?
I prefer Daredevil.
Ooh.
It might just be because I'm not a massive fan of Nicolas Cage. So, I don't know. Because like I said, you get like movies, we could have an awesome movie out, but if you don't like that actor or actress in that movie, you're not going to like it as much as other people do. So like you guys said Ghost Rider, so you obviously don't mind Nicolas Cage, but I'm not a massive fan of him, and that ruined the movie party for me. I thought it was an okay movie, but I'd probably say Daredevil.
Yeah, for me, for me, it's Ghost Rider because, like he said, you may not like Nicolas Cage, but I like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I do love Ben Affleck too, but the thing about, I don't know, Daredevil was just one of those characters growing up that I just really didn't give a shit about, as opposed to me looking at a character like Ghost Rider and going, okay, that guy looks cool as shit. I want to watch his movie. And, I think both movies have a very, because obviously, there are people that hate both movies, but I think if you watch it with the idea that, hey, I think if you watch them both with the idea that, hey, both of these movies are very dumb, they are very campy, and they are not the best, it kind of lessens the blow a bit. Both of them do have very certain cheesy aspects about them that are kind of enjoyable. Like Ghost Rider what's the term? It's a guilty pleasure, at least. If I'm flipping through channels on TV and it's on, I may stop and watch it for nostalgia's sake. But you won't ever see me coming home from work and going, you know what? I'm gonna watch Ghost Rider. Let's do that. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Yeah, I've never had the urge to rewatch it, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
We've actually got my younger brother in here. Dan saying Nicolas Cage and Con Air was awesome. Yeah, Con Air is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
So, we've got quite a few comments, so I'm going to see them quickly try to get through a couple of them here.
You're kind of lagging a bit, man. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you guys? Am I all right now?
Your audio is your picture's lagging.
All right, from my side, it's fine. I don't know what's going on. If anyone in the chat can let me know if for my pictures going a bit funny, please let me know.
Yeah, because we can both definitely see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. It just went back to normal.
You're good.
Oh,
you go.
Good.
Very handsome.
Well, very quickly, another question from viewer Jew. He says, which action movie hero do you like? Terminator, do you like more? Terminator, John McClane, Neo, or Indiana Jones? Right, so we've got Terminator, John McClane, Neo, or Indiana Jones. And how would you rank them? So John McClane's Bruce Willis and Die Hard, right? Am I wrong here?
Shit. I feel like I should know this question. Like, if I don't answer this the right way, my uncle's gonna spank me or something. I don't know. I think no.
Yeah, John McClane's Bruce Willis and Die Hard. Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, Uncle Jason, if you're watching this, next time I show up, just right hook me and get it over with, man. I have failed miserably.
What would you guys say? Just 4, 3, 2, and 1. Terminator, John McClane, Neo, and Indiana Jones. Joe?
For Terminator, my favourite. Indiana Jones, John McClane, Neo.
My exact same ranking.
Yeah.
Nate, 4, 3, 2.
I'm gonna say Indiana Jones, Terminator, John McClane, and then Neo.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've all got Neo bottom.
Yes.
I like Neo conceptually. He's a cool character, but I don't know, man. When you think of in terms of just big action heroes, I automatically think Indiana Jones and Terminator and John McClane.
He's not got a patch in them.
Right.
We've got Josh saying, I was recording my Fall of Fun trailer reaction. My dad came in looking for a Ford trailer. Honestly, Josh, see if you can maybe get a soundproof room or something. I think that's going to save your life.
Oh, dude, that's even worse than just hearing every little thing that's going on in your house. When someone walks in on you while you're recording, it's like the worst feeling ever. Like you just feel kind of embarrassed because you're just literally talking to yourself. You sound like a crazy person to them.
Well, I suppose his dad could walk in on him doing a lot worse stuff. So
this is true.
He's got Lego News. He's also got the same thing because he was saying about people walking in on him. He's saying when the first trailer came out for No Way Home, he was making his reaction and just people randomly coming into his room. And he was getting too excited, and I think his sister, she ruined the entire recording.
I could just see him watching the trailer and he's losing his mind. His sister comes in, he's trying to act excited and kind of give her that look at the same time, like, "Will you get the hell out of here?"
Very, very true. We've also got Adam in the house saying, "Hey, Mike and everyone, how are you guys?" Well, hey, Adam, thank you for tuning in, man. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, the guys are good as far as I'm aware. And he also said he loved Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, Adam did a review on his channel as well, Top Gun Maverick. Go check it out. Awesome. Now, we've also got another one from Viewer Drew. He says, which character do you think Keanu Reeves is better as, John Wick or Neo?
John Wick.
I prefer John Wick.
John Wick.
If John Wick was not a thing, I would say Neo, but because John Wick is a thing, and we're getting John Wick Chapter 4 pretty soon, I'm gonna say John Wick.
Yeah.
like John Wick walks in the room, you might as well walk out because everybody gonna die.
Absolutely. And Adam says thanks for the shout out. Yeah, Adam, absolutely. And earlier on in the stream, we answered your question from your Patreon question asking about Obi-Wan series. So we talked about that earlier. Yeah, so just let everyone know. So we're going to maybe go live for maybe about another 5-10 more minutes. So any last kind of comments or questions you've got, please drop them in. But yeah, so very quickly, but while we're waiting for a couple more questions coming in, Joe, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what you've got coming up on your channel?
Obviously, I do a lot of different content on my channel. So I'm going on my honeymoon in a couple of weeks. Me and my wife's going to Bali in Indonesia, so I'm probably going to do a couple vlogs on my holiday. Well, I'm going to buy a couple more mystery boxes because I really enjoy doing my eBay one, although the contents are really crappy. I want to do some more mystery boxes.
He's just gonna be doing. You're just gonna be doing a vlog where you're in a store and you're like, "Hey guys, check out all these microwaves they got. This is great."
Yeah, like I said, there's lots of different stuff. I've got my honeymoon I'll do, so I'll probably do some vlogs. I'll probably get some more mystery boxes. I really want to do another customer returns palette because that's one of my most popular videos on my channel, and that continually gets good views on my channel. Like the last 28 days, that video alone's had 500 plus views, and that video was made like 6 months ago, and it's still getting really good views. I want to do another palette video. I might do a movie review. Who knows? I might do some food. I still want to do the one chip challenge, but I'm waiting for my brothers to hurry up and help me out with this one because they want to do it with me also. So I don't know, lots of different stuff. If anyone's got any ideas what they'd like to see me do on my channel, I'll do it. So,
right. Well, drop them in the chat if whatever video idea you guys have got, and again, any questions, drop them in. Yeah, I think the vlog idea on Bali would be cool because I don't know a lot about Bali personally, and I think that would be cool. But just don't spend too much time away from your wife doing that.
Don't want to get too distracted.
Right.
I need the content. She understands.
That's fair. And Nate, what about you? What videos have you got coming up on your channel?
Well, obviously every Thursday, you got the new series, Throwback Thursdays, which I think the way I'm going to kind of tackle that going forward is kind of how I tackled it last time. I'm just going to put up a poll on Facebook for 3 movies and let people vote on what they'd like to see me talk about, because that's what led to Spider-Man. Originally, I had Empire Strikes Back and, not Return of the King, Fellowship of the Ring up there, but everybody just wanted to see me talk about Spider-Man. So I was like, okay. In terms of movies that are coming out, next weekend I have a screening for Jurassic World Dominion, and in the same weekend I have another screening the day after for Crimes of the Future. That's David Cronenberg's new movie, and it looks like one of those films that's very trippy. It's very bleak about what's going on. So it looks like it could be intriguing, but you know what? I've seen movies this year that I thought were going to be awesome, and they've turned out to be complete trash. So we'll see if that's just one of those scenarios.
Sure. Yeah. And I think the next biggest movie, as you mentioned, is the new Jurassic World movie next week. So there's nothing out here in the UK this weekend, and probably I think same you were saying earlier. I think
there's nothing out here either.
Yeah. So I mean, both my guests will very quickly, Adam. Yes, Joe. And yeah, he's my brother, didn't know. But yeah, so I just want to very quickly say, because we haven't had any other comments so far, I just want to say anyone who's watching live after the fact, the link for Nate's channel, the Unbiased Movie Nerd, and the link for Joe's channel, JCX Fun, they're both in the description below. Please go click on their links. Please go subscribe to their channel, check out their videos, show them some love, tell them that you saw them from this live stream. And we've also got Jamie to say, enjoy the honeymoon for Joe. Can't wait to see the vlogs. Can't wait to see the throwback videos. And another great stream. Like, yeah, Jamie, well, thank you so much for tuning in Australia. I don't know if it's like morning time for you guys right now, but thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Jamie.
And yeah, have you guys got any last words before we wrap this up?
I'll let your brother go first.
Oh, cheers, Nick. Just obviously, thanks for having me on, Mike. Obviously, I've really enjoyed it. I was nervous, but obviously, as the stream's gone on, I've felt a bit more comfortable. And yeah, just thank you so much for having me on. And hopefully, I'll get to be on a few more because I really enjoyed it. And thanks for Nate, always being supportive towards you as well. I appreciate anyone who's supportive to my brother Mike. So you've always got my support in return for that as well. So
yeah. No, awesome. And yeah, definitely plan to have you on for more. Maybe even the cinema horror stories section that I also do as well. That would be cool. I'd love to hear about your experiences. So definitely. And Nate, have you got any kind of final words, man?
Yeah, dude, just thanks for having me on again, man. You know, I'm really looking forward to, doing more and more of these streams with you. Kind of like I've said, off stream, it gives me a chance to kind of collaborate with people that have the same love for film that I do. And, I feel like there's some kind of camaraderie and kind of bond, between all of us because, we all love this very specific thing. And just being able to communicate about it with people, it makes me feel good, man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I think that the fact that we've got like a topic that we all relate to, like helps and all talk like that in-depth conversation. But no, honestly, it's a pleasure having you guys. And you guys are more than welcome on the channel anytime at all. And again, anyone who's watching live after the fact, please go subscribe to Joe from JCX Fun and go subscribe to Nate from Unbiased Movie Nerd. And anyone who is interested in content that I've got coming up very quickly for the channel this week, I've got a live stream on Sunday with Jacob Martin and D Movie Man for cinema horror stories. So episode 3 is coming. And I think I might have a Back to the Fans episode as well. I'm not entirely too sure. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, anyone who's tuning in live right now, thank you for tuning in. And until next time, we will see you later. Bye, everyone.